Okay. So, one of the main reasons I think we dislike writing, or at least I used to dislike writing a lot, is because we get these assignments that we don't know what to make of. And you said very well that maybe that story could be the result of somebody asking, write about an embarrassing moment. Well, that's not that bad, right? It's an embarrassing moment. You can make a list of embarrassing moments and choose one. But usually the kind of assignments we get through school and sometimes even at essay competitions sound like, write about what it's like to be human. Right, that's kind of a big topic. Where do I start? The best tool I've learned, and this has made my life a lot easier, and it's making my work with my reporters a lot easier, is we get these big assignments, right? What it's like to be human. Sustainability is a really big topic. Write about love. Where the hell do you want to start? It's gigantic. Okay, so think of this as a ladder, right? And this up here is the really abstract, general, big, gigantic topic. Write about failure. That's up here. So you can make your work easier by finding the little story at the bottom of the ladder that speaks to the big story on top. So let's use this as an example. So write about what it's like to be human. Well, that's kind of hard, but it's a little bit easier if somebody tells you, write about, I don't know, things that go wrong in life. Okay, so you take out the good stuff. That's at least we've taken out half of the equation. It's a little easier. Still kind of large. Okay, let's separate out of the things that can go wrong. Let's pick embarrassment. Okay, so we're going down the ladder. We're making the subject a little bit more easy to comprehend. Embarrassing moments. And in this case, we can make it even easier. What about embarrassing moments up to the point you were 14? Okay, now we're kind of an easier territory. Well, I think I'll just tell my pee on the bus story. Because everyone has a pee. No.
Fortunately.
And unfortunately, I also think everyone has a pee in public story. So we can make a collection at one day. But so whether you like the story or not, because it's fine, you don't need to like the story or agree that it needs to be shared. You do something that seems really fun and small and relatively meaningless, but you're talking about every level above. So when you have an essay to do, one of the best things you can do is, okay, the teacher just threw out a big topic. I'm gonna go home and figure out how can I interpret that topic in a way that brings me back to something I can actually start writing about. So let's try this in an exercise. We decided let's do as a big topic, let's do animal rights. How can we? Which is kind of big, right? How do we treat animals? So this is kind of up here. So give me some examples, ideally out of your own lives or the lives of your friends or your families or people you know, that bring it down here. So what small stories can we tell about the big topic?
I have a friend that lives in the countryside, and in her village, the rest of the people throw their they have dogs, and at one point they don't like them anymore. I don't know why. I can't understand that.
Okay. And
they're throwing them in the street, and she takes them in her house, and she has a lot of dogs.
Like how many?
10. Wow. 12. Something. But they died somehow. because they were already sick.
I'm not sure this is the good death kind of story, but
yes,
okay. So, really big topic, really small story. Another one.
Constanza is full of tigers and like really exotic animals during summertime
Because of the surface.
also that,
Because
but
of tourists.
yeah, mostly.
Oh, for taking photos.
Okay,
Yeah.
say more.
And basically there are 12 months at most, 12 months old
Baby
lions or baby tigers or whatever tied in a leash, and they have to sit there all day long in the sunlight for tourists to take pictures.
And monkeys also.
Monkeys, yeah.
See, I don't care about animal rights. But in terms, I don't want to read a story about animal rights. It doesn't say anything to me. If I want to read about exotic animals at the seaside, I do. I have no idea what's going on. But this sounds way more interesting in a few words than this. So, what else?
When I was younger, I found a little bird with a broken leg, and I had adopted it.
I like you guys. This is easy. Okay, what else?
When I first moved to my new house, a dog lived there on the street, and he bit my mom's foot because we were new. But in the end, he started fighting for us.
Okay.
He was protecting you?
And protecting us.
And you hated the dog at first, but then you grew to love it?
Now it's dead.
The Stockholm
Of
syndrome.
course it's there.
Right? Just put it together.
Okay,
It's
okay.
very tight.
My parrot is still alive.
Okay.
Your bird is
Your bird is still alive? See, alright, that's the story. Okay. What else?
What?
The penguin is there.
What else?
Last year, my 5-year-old brother wanted very badly bunny, and we ended up buying 2 bunnies, and that was a big mistake because both of them died within a week. I don't know why. They ate some polyester.
Plastic, whatever.
And yes, and he was devastated, and I think we should think more about what animals deserve and what we want at the moment. So
Let me pause here for a second. Because she's going in the right direction. You have the story, but then you have to think, so what do I want to tell with the story? Because this story makes sense if maybe her little brother, or at least the family, says, well, maybe we should start thinking of the animals we want to bring into the house before we think of how cute those bunnies would be running around the house. And that gets to your bigger theme. And in terms of an essay, then you can argue for, please be more aware when you adopt animals, or, you know, make some laws so exotic animals don't get abused at the seaside, or whatever else you wanna argue for. Think of all the other things that exist. You can write about a vet, right? You can write about zoos. Are zoos good for animals, or are zoos bad for animals? You can write about the circus. You can write about NGOs that, I don't know, your volunteering experience at an animal shelter, whatever.
Dog catchers.
You can write about dog catchers. You can write about cat hotels. I was just walking down the street the other day and I saw a blood bank for dogs.
really,
Wow.
in Bucharest.
Yeah. On Nicolae Iorga. Like a blood bank for dogs. That's a good story. So all of these, to me as a reader, are better promises than this. This makes me go to sleep. I might read this. I might read this. I might read any of them, certainly more than this. When we get stories sent to the magazine, the ones I trash immediately are the ones that talk up here. I once put out a public call asking people to send in stories about relationships. The ones that I never read were the ones that said, relationships between men and women are very complicated. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. Oh, really?
Thank you first.
Thank you for sharing these very insightful thoughts.
Unique.
But if you tell me a story, even though the story says the same thing those boring sentences do, it's more interesting to read. So go for these things. It makes for more fun for you when you write, and it certainly is a lot more fun for people to read. You decide your level of sharing, and that's why me and Ana, most of the time, we write about other people, not ourselves. But you know, that's up to you to decide.